If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent, we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. Truth will ultimately prevail, where there is pain to bring it to light. It is better to be alone, than in bad company. Liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. To be prepared for war, is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. Let us raise a standard, to which the wise and honest can repair, the rest is in the hands of God. Observe good faith and justice toward all nations. Cultivate peace and harmony with all. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. The foolish and wicked practice of profane cursing and swearing is a vice so mean and low, that every person of sense and character detests and despises it. Laws made by common consent must not be trampled on by individuals. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire, called conscience. True friendship is a plant of slow growth, and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity, before it is entitled to the appellation. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. When we assumed the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen. My observation is that, whenever one person is found adequate to the discharge of a duty, it is worse executed by two persons, and scarcely done at all if three or more are employed therein. It is better to offer no excuse, than a bad one. The grand essentials to happiness in this life are, something to do, something to love, and something to hope for. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am, I owe to my mother. I attribute my success in life to the moral, intellectual, and physical education I received from her. But lest some unlucky event should happen unfavorable to my reputation, I beg it may be remembered by every gentleman in the room, that I this day declare with the utmost sincerity, I do not think myself equal to the command I am honored with. In politics as in philosophy, my tenets are few and simple. The leading one of which, and indeed that which embraces most others, is to be honest and just ourselves, and to exact it from others, meddling as little as possible in their affairs where our own are not involved. If this maxim was generally adopted, wars would cease and our swords would soon be converted into reap hooks, and our harvests be more peaceful, abundant, and happy. Human happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. Perseverance and spirit have done wonders in all ages. Let us therefore animate and encourage each other, and show the whole world that a freeman, contending for liberty on his own ground, is superior to any slavish mercenary on earth. Happiness depends more upon the internal frame of a person's own mind than on the externals in the world. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. We must consult our means rather than our wishes. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of everyone. We should not look back, unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors, and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. Of all the animosities which have existed among mankind, those which are caused by a difference of sentiments in religion, appear to be the most inveterate and distressing, and ought most to be deprecated. There is nothing so likely to produce peace, as to be well prepared to meet the enemy. The great rule of conduct for us, in regard to foreign nations, is, in extending our commercial relations, to have with them as little political connection as possible. Be not glad at the misfortune of another, though he may be your enemy. No punishment, in my opinion, is too great for the man who can build his greatness upon his country's ruin. It is substantially true that virtue or morality is a necessary spring of popular government. The rule, indeed, extends with more or less force to every species of free government. I have found that, when I silently commune with people, they give up their secrets also, if you love them enough. Strive, not with your superiors in argument, but always submit your judgment to others, with modesty. Death, the abyss, from where no traveler is permitted to return. A slender acquaintance with the world must convince every man that actions, not words, are the true criterion of the attachment of friends. I beg you, be persuaded, that no one would be more zealous than myself, to establish effectual barriers against the horrors of spiritual tyranny, and every species of religious persecution. Mankind, when left to themselves, are unfit for their own government. I walk on untrodden ground. There is scarcely any part of my conduct which may not hereafter be drawn into precedent. Nothing can be more hurtful to the service than the neglect of discipline, for that discipline, more than numbers, gives one army the superiority over another. Lenience will operate with greater force, in some instances than rigor. It is therefore my first wish to have all of my conduct distinguished by it. My first wish is, to see this plague of mankind, war, banished from the earth.